Greetings, dear hearts, to another segment of our YouTube Healing Aspirations, presented by the Christian Laity Foundation, which has been created by God to help God's followers to recover their divine mind and thereby overcome the savage basis of the human mind and be able to help God now, because of the ability to work in concert with each other, to bring this world back into the kingdom and the kingdom into this world for its leadership. And so we turn to the issue of studying our mind, of watching it, because that becomes a prime influence that we need, that ability to watch our mind and where it's going. So, we're going to look at that in this segment. Watch your mind, watch your mind. Why do we say watch your mind? It's because the human mind is a mind that causes distress. The human mind has no truth whatsoever to it, and it causes us to get down on ourselves, to get down on others, to get down on our God, to get down on the beliefs that we can handle circumstances that are occurring within our life. And how do we start to deal with it? You have to know to be able to watch for it. Now, do you watch your mind? Are you catching the fact that your mind is distressing you? Chances are, maybe even you didn't realize that you were doing it, you are doing it because of the fact that you're watching these episodes that we're putting up on Healing Aspirations. And you're right, if you are looking, if you are watching, if you're becoming aware of where your mind is at. Now let me tell you why you even become aware of where your mind is at. What's the difference between the time where your mind is going along and you're not catching anything and the moments when you are? The answer to it is God's presence. It is God who is nudging you to be able to be aware of where your mind is at. All of us have trouble with a mind that drifts off into the negativism, into the destructiveness of the human mind, of its condemning, of its judgmental aspects, of its attacking aspects, of its personal survival, of the animal aspects. All of us have trouble with it. Jesus himself had trouble with it. And so if you're saying, oh, well, I'm just a terrible person, well, that would make Jesus a terrible person, because Jesus had trouble with this very same problem. The Nicene Creed, who points out that Jesus is all man and all God, was right. That Jesus comes into the world and Jesus needs now to deal with the human mind. And when he doesn't watch it, something negative happens. And we have two incidents of it. Actually, there are more, but we can quote two incidents of it. The first one is when he comes back from his stay in the desert after he's baptized, and he's present at a wedding, and his mother knows he's supposed to start his ministry there. And the steward comes up and states that they're out of wine. And Jesus receives a nudge by his mother, and he turns to her and says, "My time has not come yet." The human mind cutting in, trying to stop the action of his divine presence in his ministry. And he states this, and his mother ignores him, and says to the steward, bring those casks of water over and do what he tells you to do. An example of the delaying action of the human mind, which Jesus was not aware of until his mother, who was aware of it and was nudged by God's presence of her divinity, because you remember, as you've seen in other segments here, that it's been revealed to me after 2,000 years that Jesus' mother is Mother God. And she is aware that his ministry starts now. And a second one in which Jesus could not watch his mind was when a Canaanite woman came to him and asked for a healing of her daughter, and Canaan was a tribe of people, a land which was the enemy of Israel. And Jesus rebuffs her and insults her. Jesus states, I came here to heal the children of Israel, not their dogs. That is an unwatched mind. So even Jesus has trouble with it. And again, the Holy Spirit moves to another person, that woman herself. God bless that woman, that she made no judgment about Jesus and simply said to him, yes, Jesus, but even the dogs get crumbs off the children's table. Notice, she did not argue with him. She accepted his statement about her, that she and her child are dogs, and did nothing whatsoever to contradict it. If this happens with Jesus, might you guess it happens with all of us, and that we need to watch our mind, because the human mind is so dangerous to our relationships with ourselves or with other people. What happens if you agree to this, or if you want to agree to it? You have to pray it. It only gets done by praying. That you need to be able to turn to God and be able to say, I need your help to watch my mind and to receive the way you want me to think. Has to be done by prayer, because your human mind, which is causing all of these destructive thoughts to yourself and to others, doesn't know how to stop. All it wants to do is start. All it wants to do is keep you away from going to God. The human mind doesn't even know that there's a God. The human mind, though, knows that you turn away from it, and the human mind wants primacy. The human mind wants your full attention, so it's going to hammer in there, and it's going to do it time after time after time, that even after you go to God and say, Lord, I want to be able to see this moment, I want your mind to handle this moment, and you get it, and you feel relief, and you handle it, and you would think, now I know how to master it. Not so. The human mind comes back in, finds another place to wiggle in, and aggravate you again. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times a day, my wiggle worm human mind gets me, and distracts me, and tootles me off to its thinking and its fantasies. And I suffer this as much as any other person, but I don't worry about it anymore, because I know it's natural, and that God is going to nudge me and remind me that my human mind has now taken over, and I'm listening to it. And because God does that with me, I am able thereby to make a choice and turn to God and say, Lord, let me handle these thoughts as you want me to handle them. Watch your mind, because God is going to signal you. You become aware of the fact that you're thinking from your human mind, destructive to yourself and others. God makes you aware of it. That's why you catch it. That's why you're watching. But the watching is led by God. And to receive God's help is the solution you're looking for in order to receive answers to the problems of this destructive human mind. Watch your mind. And you must even ask God's help. Lord, you heard what Bob was saying there. I ask your help to know how to watch my mind. You're giving God permission to move on you. Got it? Hope it's helpful. Oh, do we need to use this? Do we need to? Oh, dear God, thank you for helping me to watch my mind and to know that there are answers that come from you, which is what I want. Dear God, dear God, dear God, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the assuredness that you will always watch my mind and bring me back from when I get lost. Hope it's helpful, folks. Bye-bye for now.